What is up, you guys? Thank you guys so much for checking in today's video, video 3. In today's video, it's going to be a bit of a story time video since it's extremely rainy outside and I can't take you guys outside. So it's going to be done from the comfort of my own home. It's not the direction that I want to take my channel. I eventually want to get my channel to, where I can have fun with you guys, show you guys cool pranks that I play on my friends, take you around more. But the whole COVID situation has a different plan for me. So just bear with me while I keep making these more stationary videos and things like that, and I promise I'll get better. Fun fact, I actually did try and film the day in the life video today, but since it's super rainy out, I decided to postpone that until I can actually take you guys outside, show you guys what I do for my run, and outside activities and stuff like that, rather than just inside, because inside is pretty boring. So, this video today stems from the idea of one of the questions I got in my DMs from the 20 questions video. So the question was, what is the craziest thing that has ever happened to you? The one that sticks out to me the most actually did happen last summer. To give you guys a bit of background information, I was here working full-time in London, Ontario, while my friends were all in my hometown, which is about a 6.5 hours drive from here, okay? It's towards the Montreal, Ottawa area of Ontario, Canada. So I got a text from one of my best friends from home saying, "Jacob, skydiving Saturday morning. This is gonna be so fun." She didn't even ask me at this point, she just said skydiving. And I think maybe it's because she knows that I'm like that spontaneous friend that just goes on these things, and I'm really like adventurous and stuff like that. Anytime the word adventure is involved, I'm one of those people that is down, like I am going. So I responded like, "Are you kidding? Yes, please tell me you're serious. Answer, you're serious, you're serious." This was the most prioritized item on my bucket list for the longest time, okay? My brother went skydiving, my brother and his girlfriend went skydiving a couple years ago, 2 years ago I think, and watching them go was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm so jealous right now. So I told myself that I would be going one day. Later that week, I drove home on the Friday and we were planning on going skydiving on the Saturday morning. We were super excited because the weather looks good, the wind looked good, it wasn't going to be too cold, it wasn't the summer, but when you're in the plane, like you raise altitudes, it gets like colder or something like that. And we were pumped because we were like, this is happening. So the Saturday morning comes around and we had about an hour and a half drive to where we needed to go in order to go skydiving. So we're driving there and, the nerves are starting to set in. We are starting to get anxious, starting to get excited. That little mixed feelings in your stomach where your stomach is dropping, that started happening. Anyway, we're about 10 minutes from the location now. We're driving in and we're in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, okay, that's normal. You know what? We're just going to turn a corner and there's going to be a huge building somewhere, that says skydive XYZ. Then it says that we're here. And it says we have to turn right and we have arrived at our destination, and all around us are cow fields. So we're like, this must be some kind of joke, So then finally we see a little barn, and this barn is wood, barely even standing, whatever. And we're like, you've got to be kidding me. We're driving up to this barn and all of a sudden we see a plane come out of the barn and then take off just from grass. It looks like something used in World War II, honestly probably World War I. We are jumping tandem, which means that it is me, and then behind me is one professional that's strapped to me nice and close, and they're the ones using the parachute, and then I'm tied to them, right? We're learning about how to put the harness on and stuff like that, and it's a little bit tight in the groin area. And we're doing this 15-minute course where you learn how to wear your harness, what to do whenever you jump, what to expect, things like that. And there's a group of probably 10 of us in that course, okay? So we're talking with everybody and just shooting the shit with people whenever we're looking at the plane that we're gonna be going up in, and it's a literal, pretty much a box on wheels, okay? It does the job for them. I'm nothing against that, but it's very interesting looking, and it just it causes those nerves to fire up just a little bit more. The plane is so small that only 4 people can go in it, okay? So that means 2 guests or 2 customers, and then the 2 jumpers that are going to be jumping tandem or strapped behind those individuals. So me and my friend Amanda, we decided that we were gonna go first. So we're getting super excited because I know that we're up next. So we're waving the people off in front of us and we're saying bye, good luck, have fun, all all of a sudden, like, we go outside and we're like, oh, like, look, you can see them jumping, like, you see them in the air, and you see the kind of one parachute coming down nicely, and then the other one gets into a bit of a spin, and you know, we don't think anything of it, so we go back into the barn, and we are, you know, just messing around and laughing and say we're next and taking pictures and all this stuff. It was a married couple that were in front of us, an older man and an older woman, and then you see the man land, and you know, he's happy and looking for his wife, and everybody's kind of, next thing you know, everybody's kind of up on their feet and like looking around and looking into the cornfields surrounding us. We kind of hear people talking like, what's going on, and where are they, and then we notice that only one of them landed. And then so Amanda and I go out and we're looking up in the air, and we have no idea what is going on at this point. We don't see another parachute. We don't really see anything. You just see kind of people panicking. And the workers start walking around whispering like into each other's ears and start running, and cars start driving off and into the distance, into the fields, down this grass airstrip. So then from that, Amanda and I, we have the harnesses on, we're ready to go, okay? The plane is landing and taking us up next. So now we're kind of getting worried, and we try and figure out a little bit more about what's going on. So we're walking around, we're walking like to the field, peeking around the barn, seeing if we can see anything where all these cars are going, and all the cars except one stop at one spot. The other little Toyota Prius or whatever the heck it was is driving around, and it picks up a parachute and it's dragging the parachute back. And then you hear people talking about they found like the main parachute, and then they were looking for like other parts. Or we start kind of freaking out. I mean, we're next on this skydiving journey, but we have no idea what's happening. The workers are going around whispering to each other. This older gentleman that just landed is like looking around like dazed and confused. Where the heck is his wife? A couple minutes go by, we start seeing ambulances drive by, and not just one ambulance. We see one ambulance, and then a cop, and then another ambulance, and then that little SUV thing that's not really an ambulance, but it's like a Tahoe where it's like a paramedic in it, but there's no room for somebody in the back. Like, I don't know if it's like the supervisor, but then that thing drives by. And then another police car drives by, and then another police car drives by. So you have all of these emergency vehicles driving to this one spot. So then Amanda and I are looking at each other like, what the heck is going on? Like, I am not getting into this box on wheels airplane until I figure out what's going on. And we have a nurse with us that wasn't with us, but like was like another customer there waiting to go up. And she manages to find on the town that we were in. The town that we were in had a Twitter account, and they tweeted, Air Orange is called to skydive XYZ. We're finally getting told to take off our harnesses because, you know, we don't think this is happening today. Then as time goes on, the city tweeted again saying Air Orange has been called off. So no more air helicopter coming to us. So we were like, hey, amen. Like, you know, the people are in good condition. They're not critical enough for Air Orange to come. They're just gonna come by regular ambulance to the hospital. Because at this point, it was pretty clear that something happened with the two people. Then come to realize that there was an accident and they were spinning in the air because something happened where the main parachute came out and they needed to cut it. Apparently that's fairly common in skydiving. So the reason they were spinning was because one of the brake lines were jammed and it sent them into a spiral, and apparently those are very hard to recover from. So the main parachute came out, for some reason they had to cut it, the reserve parachute came out, and then it sent them into a spiral. So backtrack a little bit, I then connected the dots that the parachute that the one Toyota Prius drove to was actually the main parachute that the people had to cut. And then the reserve came out, sent them into a spiral. And that's whenever we saw them spinning. Didn't think much of it because we were just like, oh, they're just like, you know, having fun. So the fear is calming down a bit because we're at least, you know, at least they're okay because they're gonna get transported by regular ambulance. But no, come to find out, the workers come to us and collect us all in a room, and everybody is very, very sad here in this room. And like, we are all sad, we don't know what to do. The worker eventually told us that the woman did unfortunately pass away from the accident. So there was a skydiving accident, sent them into a spiral, they hit the ground a little bit too hard, and she did pass away. The professional, however, he had a couple broken bones. I think he had like a bruised ribs and stuff like that, and he was talking and he was okay. Then we found out that Air Orange was called off because It's not that it wasn't critical, it's just that the person that was in such critical care was no longer with us at that point. So there was no need for that Air Orange ambulance. They just needed an ambulance to transport the individual that was no longer with us, and then an ambulance to transport the other one to the hospital with those minor injuries. We are completely dumbfounded. Like, I didn't know what to do. I like firsthand saw the police tell this man that his wife was no longer with us, and it was the most heartbreaking thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. We had to give police statements and, you know, say what we saw. So then we're just sitting there in silence, like couldn't even like fathom what we could do next. We stayed for that moment of silence to kind of mourn and respect what just happened here today. Respect the fact that a life was just taken right in front of our eyes. Once we did start driving home, the ride home was kind of just like a what the hell just happened. I was getting all these texts about like, how was skydiving? I removed everything from my like Instagram story because I was just like, I do not want to get any more questions about this. It was this thing in my hometown called the Firefighters Challenge that night. Everybody kind of in the community gets together and we have this Firefighters Challenge that takes place at the like local field. Somehow the whole community found out, similar to my coming out story, whenever the tea spills in my town, everybody finds out like right away. So of course the entire town knew by the time I showed up at this Firefighters Challenge that night, and I was getting questions about it left, right, and center, and I couldn't even say anything about it except for it was crazy. Like, it was unreal. A common question was, well, are you gonna go skydiving again? Like, it was on the top of your bucket list for so long. Do you think that you will be able to trust skydiving again? And honestly, yes, I do actually plan on going this summer. Maybe not to like the same place, not because I don't trust them, but just because I'm afraid that once I go back to the similar place, I might like get a flashback or like get scared and back out and then lose all of that money. But I am gonna go skydiving again in my life. One thing I want to say is that I don't want you guys to think that me talking about this is me taking it lightly. It is a very serious thing that happened. A life was taken from skydiving. I am so sorry for those affected who are experiencing that loss firsthand. I'm so sorry to the company, the skydiving company, who had to go through that. You guys handled it phenomenally, given the circumstances, obviously, and I'm so sorry to anybody else that is affected. I don't really know a good transition from that kind of dark story to a bit of a lighter end before I end this video. But yeah, otherwise, like and comment other videos, ideas, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Follow me on Instagram. My new Instagram is @JacobCampbellVlogs, so that'll be in the description below. Feel free to DM me on there with any video ideas, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.